The potential of the people in our community is immense. Sometimes it's been well refined and developed, but other times it is little more than raw desire and a dream. What happens when the refined and the developed reach out to the raw and the unrealized? What happens? Hope awakens and change, it begins.
As I was growing up, both of my brothers, they were used to gangbang and stuff like that. And when I was like 11, 12, 13, just starting to become a teenager, stuff like that, I started seeing my big brother Jacob having money and having all these pretty girls coming over and stuff like that, you know. So I got really interested in it, and I found out the way that he was doing it was by gangbanging and stuff like that, you know, like selling weed and getting drunk every night, you know. So I was like, all right, so my big brothers are doing it, why shouldn't I do it, you know? So me and all my friends, you know, we started smoking and stuff like that, started hanging out. About 13, 14, I started getting drunk, not coming home on the weekends, and I just had a whole mind frame change. And it just, I don't know, I just started going down the wrong road. I started fighting at school, got to the point where I was cussing out teachers, principals. I ended up getting sent to Fresh Start, which is alternative school. I ended up going there for like 2 or 3 years, and there was like a period where nearly every day my dad would tell me, you're going on the same path as your brothers, you're not gonna go nowhere, this and that, you know. So you know how usually they say that people don't just wake up and decide to do something one day, you know. Well, I actually literally woke up one day and was like, all right, I need to give my dad something to be proud of. So I ended up getting into Drive Right, getting my permit, started doing really good in school. I ended up starting working and stuff like that, and it made me have like more of a worker's ethic, you know, and made me be more respective towards my elders and my bosses and the people that needed to give me guidance, you know. I ended up paying out really good in the long run. I ended up getting out of Fresh Start. Started coming here. As soon as I came to Jefferson, I instantly started excelling in art. That's always been my big thing ever since I was little. My grandma, she's always been into art. She's an art fanatic, and she really likes to paint, and she's always had me around artsy stuff since I was a baby. It's just something about art that lets me express my feelings and like the way I'm feeling that day or that month or that year. When I put a pencil on a piece of paper, I'm in a whole different world. I'm basically not paying attention to anything or anyone around me, you know? I'm in my art world, and that's where I'm gonna stay until I get done.
What are we looking for? An empty portfolio. That's why you have the cardboard portfolio. Drawing pencils and case, colored pencil sets, pastel sets, paintbrushes, palettes, markers, rulers, etc. Anything else that you may have borrowed to use over the years. I'm only talking to seniors. When Seth showed up in my classroom, he was a transfer student from an alternative program. And he had worked really hard to get himself back into a traditional high school. And I knew that he was gifted, you know, talented, that he had an interest. I knew that there were teachers and administrators in his former building who really had encouraged him to use his art to be the thing that, you know, he spent his kind of time and energy on. It was something they wanted him to invest in. And so we got to meet, and, you know, he walked in and he wasn't really comfortable with the traditional, you're gonna sit in your seat and you're gonna work for me kind of thing. And I'm gonna direct you because there is a body of knowledge that you need to master. There are techniques you need to learn. I need to expose you to different materials. It was kind of tough to convince him that you need to trust me. that I'm going to give you some skills. They're going to make you, who already have ideas, you know, he had a lot of ideas. He was making his own art that was about his own personal imagery or things that he was comfortable with. And it was like, get out of that comfort zone. Don't keep doing the things you're good at. Let's do some of the things you've never experienced before. So I just kept reminding him, look at the people that are around you. Look at the work that's being produced here. Trust me. You know, I haven't led anybody astray. I have lots of years of experience. You will do fine. And what you think you want to say, you know, I'm gonna help you say it bigger, better, more effectively, more dramatically, in a more subtle way if that's what you want. So, you know, it was more a matter of trying to gain his trust, that it was okay, that I wasn't gonna waste his time.
Mrs. Stockton, she's just wonderful. I guess that's the only way to really put it, great and wonderful. She's been doing the art program thing for years. I don't even know how long she's been doing it, really. She's made it to where Jefferson has the most prestigious art program, well, high school art program in probably Northern Illinois. To be in one of Miss Stockton's classes, you gotta be on point. You can't slack off or none of that.
Your pieces are strong. You need to not be afraid to work large, be aggressive. I really think that the last few pieces, you really figured out how to make them, you know, speak to people. They're really exciting.
I know every one of them, and I know them because I've watched them grow. I've watched them grow up, and I oftentimes compare myself to a cheerleader, and I am always cheering them on. Am I interested in challenging them? Yes. Am I going to give them lots of opportunities to be challenged? Yes. And most of the time those challenges can be met by putting some time in. Everybody has success in their own way, shape, and form. I really enjoy watching the kids grow, watching the kids develop, watching them have a sense of accomplishment. When they get an idea, and they follow through with that idea, and it becomes finished and final. And they can celebrate the fact that they got through that whole process.
She knows what she's talking about. If you're having really major problems with something, usually if you ask somebody that knows what they're talking about, they'll be able to help you, you know? Because for a long time I had a problem where I didn't want to ask nobody anything, and I thought I knew how to do everything and that I was going to be able to do everything my own. No, it's not like that. You can't do that in real life. In the real world, you can't do everything by yourself. It just doesn't work that way, you know?
You don't do this without understanding what your role is, to be their support system, the student's support system. It takes time, it takes energy, it takes a commitment, and they know any problem they have that I'm here for them.
Rockford ShareFest exists to bring help and hope to students like Seth and teachers like Mrs. Stockton. Our schools are filled with potential. We have the opportunity to help realize that potential. Join us this year as we work to make Jefferson High School a building that inspires the best in our students, our teachers, and our community. Sign up to volunteer today at rockfordsharefest.com. You are needed.